Woke Guy.
And egg white.
Wokie Guy here with another rant. Surprised? Probably not with the big chip on my shoulder.
Weigh me down like a ship's anchor.
Gary Lineker has recently said that he's been a victim of racism because he had darkish skin as a child. What? Darkish? The interview, for which I'll put in the show notes, he says,
I suffered racist abuse while growing up and from fellow footballers because of my darkened skin, even though I'm as English as they come.
He even said that in his earnest, serious voice when he wants to put an important point across on Twitter. Let's face reality. He's not Indian and he's certainly not black. Just because he had darkish skin, and let's face it, he's just talking about a holiday tan because his term darkish is just that. His dad was a greengrocer, for God's sakes, not a shopkeeper or a bus driver or any other migrant stereotype. A proper 1960s style greengrocer where old people would spend more time chatting than buying stuff. Which I agree with because it's all about community, innit? What are you playing at, Gary? Gary? Let's break this down because that's what I like to do when we can see the optics of this bizarre statement. So, is he trying to empathise with the woke Asian guy? Because I don't have darkish skin, I have dark skin. Last time I saw him on TV, he was lighter skinned. What did you do, Gary? Did you Michael Jackson yourself? Is he saying he suffered more abuse than, say, me or my non-white friends at school? He doesn't look like your typical black or Asian chap, which is usually checks the Nick Griffin limited edition BNP handbook, the catalyst of racist abuse, and he may be confusing that with people picking on him because he's a tanned nerd and footballing prodigy. Racism and being different are two different things, Gary. So let's compare Gary Lineker to, say, every actual person who has suffered racist abuse. My checklist here. Have you walked down the street and have racist abuse hurled at you? I mean, not just in your face abuse, the old-fashioned way. A white van man shouting out, "Becky!" as they drive off. Drive-by racism, so 1970s. Have you gone into a job interview where they clearly don't want you for a job, but they run through the motions of the interview because behind the interviewer's eyes, he is punching his cock as he has to go through the whole diversity angle, clearly wants to hire people who look just like him. Let's face it, when it comes to that, company websites don't want a token ethnic on their people page. Have you felt that little bit weird when people around you get promoted faster than you? Even ones who literally started after you. Curiously looking at, guess the color palette of the management when they ignore you but talk to people who look just like them. It's called being singled out, Gary. Being classified as a person of color. Gary, do you classify as a person of color? Gary? Gary? Being told to go back to your country, not county, seeing as you were born in Leicester. Yes, I read your Wikipedia page because I am well read on the internet. Do you live under the threat of being deported to Rwanda? Oops! The last one was a wild card, one squarely aimed at Priti Patel, a proper ethnic icon, if you know what I mean. The definition of racist abuse is that you are told you do not belong, not being singled out for being different. That's just school.
I got dark skin.
When Brexit happened and we realised what people thought, were you worried? Truly worried for your safety. People are more empowered to be honest with their views and some of them ain't pretty. I could give you a fair few anecdotes, Gary. So after that rant, what is the main problem, Wokie, I hear you ask? He's claiming racism when it isn't the same racism myself and my peers have endured. He is, and I can't believe I'm saying this, culturally appropriating racism like the kind that happened in the 70s and 80s and in my childhood. By the way, there is no old school racism anymore, just more cultured racism, middle class racism with an intellectual vibe.
Oh, hello. You look like a paquet.
Gary, it ain't the same, mate. Sorry to break it to you, Gary. If you actually darkened your skin as dark as mine and walked around Bermondsey, then you would get it. Not become a world-class sports star, telepresenter and Walker's crisp seller par excellence. These doors were open for you because you're white. Not darkish. Not bad for someone with darkish skin. Bullshit. Let's pitch this as a drama idea. A British version of Blackish retitled Darkish. He's white but faces prejudice. Will he make his dreams come true? It's a cross between Soul Man and Billy Elliot with a football spin. Any takers? ITV, Channel 5. I know they'll take anything. What's next? Nigel Farage claiming he had a challenging youth where racist grouse on his state through Union Jack at him while talking Romanian. Why is his bloody world upside down? Also, the oily-faced foghorn talk show on the Talk TV channel agrees with me. And I don't agree with someone who looks like a poor man's Roger Ailes. I can't even remember his name. He's just got this giant face and just talks like a foghorn.
Darkish skin. I mean, I presume, like some of us, he's probably made up to do that particular podcast. He probably put makeup on.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Graham, the gammon, trying to be like the woke Asian guy.
He hasn't got dark skin. He's a white man. He's got a tan, like some people do get when they go on holiday. But isn't it a bit insulting if you happen to be somebody who has suffered from proper racism, somebody who does have darker skin, because you are of a different ethnic persuasion?
That's enough of you lecturing me, gammon.
Anyway, after all of this, I'm actually a fan of Gary Lineker and support all of his causes. He is great, but I have to call him up on his bullshit, basically. The one thing being culturally appropriating my racist youth, which sounds like a support band for UB40.
Racist wine.
I think I'm gonna have to lie down now. Gary, stop it.
Woke Asian guy.
And egg white.